So Doc, what started as some small talk at Brimstone is sitting right in front of us, about to start its first cross-country race. Am I right?
You're right, Lando. I'm gonna try it. I've not run one in 15 years. Last time was on a quad. I thought we'd come out here today and give it a try on the old three-wheeler.
Well, how do you think you're gonna hold up since it's been that long?
Not real good.
Not real good, you say?
No. I think I'll be wore out and shot before it's over with, but it's gonna be fun. It always has been back in the day.
Heck, I'm ready to see it. That'll be fun watching it.
I'm gonna give her a go. I've got a good pit crew with me. You and Jane Bo here today, so
yeah. If
y'all can keep me a little water, a little fuel, I'll lay with him as long as I can.
Well, good luck to you. We'll see how much of a help we can be, and yeah, that's it.
Down here today, Doc, he's gonna run, and I know he's getting a little age on him like myself, but I brung something that might pull him through.
Oh yeah, boys. Hey, that right there is the key to survival.
Right, key to survival, they say.
It'll bring you all the way through.
Handy at the pit stop so I can just sniff of them.
Yeah, boy. I have it right here in my jacket.
All right, Doc's about to take off right here, and let's see what he does. Oh, boop. What happened there?
Lando, I'm just gonna tell you the truth. I was a little nervous. I was the last guy to take off. I was the only man out there, and I was the only fool on a three-wheeler. So there was a lot of eyes on me. I sort of choked up and killed it.
I believe you said that here in a minute. You kind of aggravated at yourself. You said you was a nervous wreck. I believe right around here. Yep, there it was. Nervous wreck,
yeah,
you said.
I'll admit, I was a little nervous. Just, you know, like I said, I haven't run one of these in 15 years, and the last time was on a quad. Here I was out here, the Lone Ranger on a three-wheeler. So there wasn't a huge crowd there that day as far as spectators, but everybody that was there was looking at me.
Yeah, you see you're passing some people here pretty early on in the start. What was your strategy for passing them?
Well, at the beginning there, I was fresh, I felt good, and I know I passed, I think, maybe the whole class of quads in front of me. There was 3 or 4 of them. I passed 4 or 5, I'm not for sure, but I would just get it behind them, find a spot to go around the best I could.
That guy took him a minute to find a spot to pull over and let you around, but he eventually did it, and believe right spot right up here, you're going to pass somebody else. But, see, some of these trails look pretty tight, and like this one ain't too bad, but I know in some spots you got pretty tight. But why was that on a three-wheeler?
As in any cross-country race, my experience from the 2 I've run and watching other guys run, they make the trails tight. A lot of these guys, they'll even narrow their quads up. Of course, my Team Wax Offroad BVC Racing Dan Powers Honda Trike, I'm running 51 inches wide in the rear end.
Goodness.
For stability. You know, I could have narrowed it up to help in the trees, but I would have lost a little bit of stability. So it's one of those type things where you pick the lesser of the 2 evils. So I just kept it wide.
Plus, we don't really plan on doing races on this trike. I don't really know if you do after this one, but
I'm not gonna say I would never run another one, but no, it's not something I'm gonna do on a daily basis. So I'll leave it wide in the rear end.
It's nothing to narrow it over.
No.
And to see some of these ruts here, you look like he's having a pretty hard time on it. I know a lot of people haven't rode three-wheelers, so you can tell them what that was like, hitting them ruts, four-wheeler ruts on a three-wheeler.
Four-wheeler ruts are definitely an enemy on a trike. And of course, like I said, we only got about a lap and a half on video, and then after you edited it through, but the worse they got, the rougher it was on me. There's not a lot of people riding trikes anymore. There's a few, there's not a lot, but for those of you that have, you'll know on a three-wheeler that you have to be very cautious about picking lines, especially on the downhill. A three-wheeler is very, very, very unpredictable going downhill. You have to pick real good lines, and you're still subject to dumping, as I did in this race. I think I turned this thing over, I don't know, I know 4 times, maybe 3, or maybe 5, I mean. But you got to pick a good line when it gets to the ruts. You always want to keep your high side low and your low side high, if that makes any sense.
I guess it kind of does. I mean, I rode this trike in the field a little bit, and other than that, only three-wheeler I rode was a Big Red, and that kind of spoiled me a little bit. But see, that rut right there looked like it was giving you a time. What was going on there?
It did. I had to hit the rut with the front wheel, and was going to try to straddle it, and then my back wheel slid off in it, so you couldn't really tell from my helmet cam, but I was sitting crossways in the rut, bottomed out.
You said you almost got hung up right there, but you just kept laying with it, and it come out.
I thought I was
right there was a heck of a spot.
See, now I picked the wrong line there. Now I'm hung on a tree.
Well, yeah,
and you can see it there.
One, yeah. It looked pretty rough. You see, you hit them hills earlier. Was they very intimidating? Like, did the three-wheeler make it across those all right?
No, I had no trouble with the hills. Even the pro hill. The BVC trike just burnt the pro hill up. Ruts again.
Man, you had a cranker right there.
Yeah, I choked it out. A lot of that stuff, was my fault. But anyway, it is what it is. But
you said the thing's hard to start while it's in gear. I mean, you heard it cranking right there. And then you went to neutral.
Once it gets pretty warm, it starts a whole lot easier in neutral, as does any of them, I think.
Yeah, I know you put it in neutral. She fired right up. That was a pretty dandy looking crossing right there.
That's a tricky crossing. The video doesn't do it much justice. Cy and all these guys out there at Power Plex, they've done a tremendous job of laying this course out. I think this course was 10.8 miles.
I believe something like that, what I was hearing, yeah.
One lap, yeah. I mean, they done a tremendous job. It was a real nice course. Had several creek gully crossings, some hills, some real off-camber spots, which I remember some of them pretty well.
Well, that was a drop. Yeah, I bet you do. That was a pretty dandy looking drop off right there as well.
It was. That boy was stalled out down there in the creek, so I had to go around him.
Got some more little hills right there. Looked like he was kind of all over it. So
the three-wheelers, my experience over the years, I've been riding three-wheelers since I was about 7. My experience over the years going uphill, if you can maintain a little momentum, you can go anywhere. Off camber, sideline areas, going uphill, you're fine. But going downhill, it's a whole different ball of wax. A three-wheeler is very, very unpredictable going downhill. Your balance completely changes. And some of these downhills that they had fixed were off camber, and I had a rough time with some of them.
We're coming up on a spot where you can see it. You can see what he's talking about. Don't know how much farther it is, but I know you made a wrong turn right around here somewhere. I believe it was right here. Yeah, it was right here.
Yeah, I made a wrong turn, and here I finally, of course you clipped out part of it there, but I finally turned around. I probably added about an extra mile onto my race, so I probably run about 33.5 miles instead of 32.5.
Well, that's a mile further. You could have made it without being completely shot, I guess. That dude there, I believe, what do you think?
He was about to make the same wrong turn I made. That's exactly what he was doing.
Huh. Wonder why that was. I mean, the trails is labeled really good. If you can see right here, they're labeled like every
They
other
are,
tree.
but at that point, Landon, if you really noticed, I think the side-by-sides had run part of that course earlier, and the cleaner trail went straight, and our turn off to the left didn't look as used. So I think that's why myself, along with him and maybe some more, took the wrong turn there. But I got back on path.
Yeah, I can see where you make that mistake. And right here, in some of these spots, it looks like there's hardly even a trail. There's just a bunch of trees up. Like, what was that? What was going on there?
Well, that's where they lay a lot of these courses out. They try to pick virgin ground. And as you can see, we're running over a lot of trees, which was sort of rough on me. You can take a four-wheeler and straddle them, but I can't straddle them. I was going to catch them with either tire 1, 2, or 3.
It makes sense. Yeah, you can see him. He'll just nail him with his back tire and with his front.
And again, those new sections, fresh sections of trail were very tight. There was a few times that I actually pretty much wedged in between trees. And again, like I said, I'm running 51 inches wide on the rear end right now.
You can see how that would affect you. Like, either the front wheel hits it and it rears up, or the back wheel hits it and then knock you sideways. I believe you started to hear somebody coming up behind you, but nobody ever did. What'd you think that was?
I think it was the other sections of the track. I could hear some quads. I never actually had any pros lap me until the 3rd lap.
Which, that's not too bad, really.
That's not bad. I mean, I'm not running extremely fast or extremely hard. I did get tired pretty early.
Whoa.
Hey, here we go. Here's the first roll.
Oh gosh. And she's just about to roll again.
I was worried it was going to keep going. I tried to get to it.
It looked like it was going to go again. You caught it.
I didn't break anything. I kinked the front fender a little bit and pushed some of my controls down.
You can see some mud chunked up right there on the right side.
But I didn't break it. Now here comes the pro hill up here, Lando, right up in front of me.
Yeah, you can see people standing around watching.
You had like 3 options. I took the pro section labeled right in the center. You had the Pansy Hill over to the right, and I don't know, may have been another easy one on the left, but that was the pro section of the hill climb.
I believe you hit what was labeled the Pansy Hill on your last lap, didn't you?
Yeah, I was about pansied out on my last lap.
Yeah, at that point, you didn't care what anybody thought. You just wanted to get out of there, I believe you said, after you finished that race.
I really enjoyed it. It was it was different. I think there was a lot of people that, spectator wise, and even some racer guys, come up and talk to me before the race.
Ooh,
that was a hard lick.
You said you hit that every single lap.
I did. I'd forget about that tree. It was in an off-camber turn, and I'd come around through there moving on pretty good, and I hit that tree all 3 laps. That was the only spot I forgot about.
Wow. You said the 3rd lap just about hurt you, I believe.
It did. It threw me off of it, the 3rd lap.
Wow. Bet you look glad you didn't get hurt, though.
Oh, I'm tickled to death. I heard a lot of guys talking, before the race about the 3-wheeler, and I'm sure they was all wondering if I would even complete. And I even heard some people mention something about the hills. I think they was maybe thinking that the 3-wheeler wouldn't climb the hills, but this 3-wheeler has no trouble climbing hills.
You said the length kind of helps it.
It does. It's longer than like a factory 3-wheeler. Here we're coming out, getting ready for a pit stop here. No, that's the track.
Yeah,
Sorry
that's the
about
track.
that.
Yeah.
And I did just cruise around the edge of the track. This was a point in the race where I could actually relax for a few seconds and sort of rest. There I am shaking some arms, trying to rest a little bit.
You said you weren't much of a track guy anyway, due to some traumatic experiences that he cannot recall.
Yeah.
450R was it?
400EX.
400EX. Okay.
I've been hurt on track, so I'm not much of a track guy.
Yeah, so he used that to his advantage and took that moment to relax and build up the strength to take a few more of these hits that he had to ride through during this race. You was taking your time after that roll in some of them tricky looking spots. You started taking your time a little bit. You didn't want to have that roll happen again.
Yeah, like I said, I was already getting tired, and I figured if I could just slow down just a little bit more pace myself, I would have, maybe it prevents some crashes and actually in the long run save some time. But my second lap was the worst. I turned over 3 times in my second lap.
But they wasn't completely rollovers.
No, just on its side.
Yeah, I believe we seen one of them during the second lap, but camera died not long after that. And your 3rd lap, you said was your Jambo. I believe Jambo said was your fastest.
Jambo was trying to keep time. Jambo said my 3rd lap was my fastest lap time, and I wouldn't have thought that just because of my fatigue. But I actually in the 3rd lap I sort of paced myself just a little bit better.
I can imagine about that time you just wanting to get out of there and time passes on so slow.
I was wanting to finish. Here we come out to a pit.
Come to a pit stop. We'll be back with you in just a moment. Pit stop.
I wired her up bad. I've been all that. I flipped her over down there. Then I hit a tree hard. Rainbow got a half tank. This will do. I got on one of the silent spots of road to come over, and I bailed off and I called it before it bent up and broke anything bad.
You all right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I got off of it.
Good deal. A little bent, not bad.
I've got about 3 or 4 behind me, so I'm moving. Good, Jambo. I know it ain't 11 miles. I think it's 20.
Good luck out there. Be careful. And here we're back the start of his second lap. How did that pit stop make you feel? Did it kind of give you the strength to carry on through your second lap?
That freshened me up a little bit. I was ready for a drink of water.
Yeah,
and of course, we fueled up there because, again, this is the CRF 450R. It has the small fuel tank, and I think I would have had enough fuel to make 2 full laps, Lando, but I was afraid to chance it.
I don't blame you a bit right there. Yeah, I wouldn't want to chance it either, getting stuck out there and having somebody have to come get you and bring you gas or whatever. That'd have just been a bummer.
And a shout out to you and Jane Bow. You all had me fuel and water right there every time, just ready waiting on me. So that helped me out a whole lot.
Yeah, we're glad with anything we could have done to help. Yeah, give the trike a drink and give our racer a drink.
Now somewhere in this lap, Lando, I lost my Trail Tech cooling fan. I started running toward, I know it's not on video because my camera ran out of battery, but at the end of this lap, I was running pretty warm. And long story short, after I got it home and checking it over, either a limb caught it or I caught it on one of these rollovers, but my fan had come unplugged right at the fan.
Huh. And it just easy fix for that?
Yes. So there was a turnover, and like I said, on this lap, I turned over 3 times. And it was simple places like that, but it was always in a turn and in a rut. The ruts were getting worse. I was starting to get tired, and a lot of times I was picking a bad line.
Everything was just kind of getting a little bit worse as you went along.
And like I said earlier, again, most of them, if you'll notice, is on some type of downhill, and a 3-wheeler is very unpredictable downhill.
And you just seen a 4-wheeler on the side of the trail and nobody even around. Like, what did you think was going on there?
I'm assuming he made us had a breakdown or something.
I believe you seen, I think you said you seen somebody pulling him out or something like that.
I think it was him in the 3rd lap. If it wasn't him, it was another. But somebody was pulling him out, I'm pretty sure.
Well, it wasn't no good, but there's some mud right there. How was the dirt out there? Was it very dry?
The weather, the ground was perfect. There was about 4 spots of mud, and after about the 2nd lap, most of it was splash dry, if you want to call it that.
40 4-wheelers going through.
But I was trying to watch the mud. I wanted to keep my radiators clean. Again, this trike is a CRF 450R. It's not really set up for the woods. Now the 450X that we just completed the build on, that Dan Powers is going to give away. If anybody hadn't got their shirt, you need to get that.
Yeah, there's still some left. I can't remember how many.
It would be more set up for this. It's an X. It's got better engine guarding, more cooling capacity. It's a little bit milder. I think the gearing may be a little different.
Well, that'd be the one for somebody to win if they wanted to get into 3-wheeler racing, as crazy as that person would have to be.
I mean, mine done great, don't get me wrong, but like I said, it's not really, that engine setup is not really designed for this.
Yeah, X has just about everything you was lacking for this race to go in a little bit more in your favor.
And I talked to myself all the way through this video. Right here, I'm giving a shout out to our boys from DO. The Viking, he's been running a few races, and hopefully they'll continue and do great at that.
Yeah, we're coming at you for this video, DO style, with this commentary. Yeah, Viking, I've seen he's been getting into it some. He's kind of getting his practice in there, doing some builds and all. I don't want to spoil anything, so that's all I'm going to say about that stuff. But anyways, whatever. Next time y'all race, boys, I know you're watching this. Good luck to y'all. Pit stop number 2.
I'm going to try to make another, and I flipped her 3 times. I'm wore out. I mean, I K-rolled it 3 times. I hope I ain't bit the radiator. I broke my steering stop and I've jammed that steering wheel in the radiator block. And the ruts are getting deep, boy. I'm fighting hard.
You gonna try another lap?
Yeah, I'm gonna finish if I have to go down and just crawl and walk.
He's gonna finish.
Well, cool. She's about to burn down.
How you feeling?
Turned it over back there and blowed the fuse on my fan. Lando, I'm shot. Look good that time, boys. I just turned her over 1 time. I slowed down a little bit. Arms are killing me.
You looking good through
Lando, 32 miles, buddy. BVC.
there. 32 miles. Wow. And you completed the race.
I completed. And had a few behind me, and I started dead last, so it ain't bad.
Yeah, you done pretty good actually to be on 3 wheels. Everybody else on 4. So, Doc, you just took your BVC trike out to the Power Plex Park for round 1 of the summer series. Walk us through what happened.
Well, I'm in my mid-40s. I've only ever run 2 cross-country races in my life, and they was when I was young. So I thought I'd try it again. I thought I'd try it on a 3-wheeler. You know, kind of like one of those wild hares. So I went down there, I run approximately 33 miles in 2 hours, 35, 40 minutes. I don't know what it was. I was the only one in my class, of course, but I completed the race. I had a few mishaps, had a blast, but the Team Wax, BVC Racing, Dan Powers Honda made every lap.
And finished first place, even though you're the only one in your class. But I could say there was a bunch of fast guys on 4-wheelers out there, but I think it's been a long time since anything like this has happened in any kind of racing park. Like 3 wheels in general, not just BVC trikes. Just ATCs in general. I don't know. It's just not something you'd see every day, especially not now. But we made it happen.
Yeah, don't know if it'll ever happen again, but we made it happen today.
Don't know if it'll happen again, but we made it happen today.
I just wanted to do it just to see if I could do it and finish a race on that 3-wheeler. And I did. And I'll admit, it was a little rougher than on a 4-wheeler. First lap, not extremely bad, but after second and third laps where the ruts were getting a little bit deeper, I started having to fight it a little bit because I was having to really be careful about picking a line, and I made several mistakes. I had it on its side a few times, but that's all part of it. I had an old man tell me years ago, he said, if you ain't wrecking them, you ain't riding them.
We've heard that saying a lot. I know your GoPro battery died sometime after the first lap, so you got to see a little bit of what happened, but yeah, that anyways. There's still some shirts available at Dan Powers Honda if you want to try to win the other trike, but... Yeah,
and I think the X trike would be a whole lot better for something like that in trails. It's more designed for that versus what the R is designed for. I had to fuel up every lap. I'm not going to say I couldn't have made 2 laps on a tank, but it was going to be so close that I didn't take a chance. I pulled in, and big shout out to my pit crew, Lando and Jambo. They kept me water and kept me gas. They done a fine job today. And like I said, it was just something I wanted to do, wanted to try, so I done it. And there it is, boys. I got something I can always remember from it.
That's right. You got your plaque, and you've got some aches you're going to feel in the morning.
Yeah, I'll probably be a little sore. Like I said, I'm not used to that anymore. But
yeah, I hear you. Well, ain't very many people that could be used to doing that. But anyways, hope you enjoyed this race. It was definitely something else. But
now next time, Lando, me and Jambo's gonna be pitting for you. Youth dirt bike.
That'd be something. I don't know how that'll.
Youth dirt bike.
I don't know how that'll go, but you know.
Oh yeah. You can hang with them boys on that KX.
Well, we may see one of these days.
This old man here, I have a hard time hanging these baby. Now you can lay with them.
I can try anyway. I don't know if I could, but I could try.
Fellas, hope y'all enjoy Landon's video. A lot of this stuff we do, most stuff we do because we really enjoy it, but we do some of it just because you guys might enjoy it.
That's right.
So we thank you for watching.
Thank y'all. We did this because of y'all and because, we kind of wanted to. But anyways, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
whether you're on 2 wheels or 4 or maybe even 3. And lastly, keep sending.